You found product market fit, but now the systems are cracking. The team needs you for everything. Growth feels like quicksand. The more you move, the deeper it pulls you in. This is the scaling paradox, where founders and operators come to get unstuck. I'm Blake Moseni, and I sit down with founders and operators that nearly burnt out and rebuilt their business to operate without them. If you're stuck in the middle, this is where we fix it.
We went from $14,000 a month in MRR to $86,000 in 83. We basically hit the $1 million mark in 12 months. So 2022 to 2023 is when we rapidly scaled. And then that first kind of end of Q3, Q4 was like that burnout stage where I stopped getting back to people as much. I didn't want to go to the office, didn't really recognize it again, but was just tired. Like, I mean, that's like the weirdest thing to say is like, you don't feel physically tired, you're just mentally drained. For lack of better terms, like I just hated the business.
Welcome to another episode of The Scaling Paradox. I am so excited to have you on today, Mitch. I'm going to dive in and give a little bit of background, and we can go ahead and get started for the listeners. So Mitch is a serial entrepreneur that has successfully built and sold multiple businesses, bringing deep industry knowledge and hands-on approach to marketing. He has a long and short story where he focuses on giving practical, real-world advice, helping startups and established companies alike optimize their operations, scale efficiently, and achieve and sustain success. Mitch, really happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Blake. I'm excited to be here. This was going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to diving in, man. I'm looking forward to diving in. Before we get into the topic of burnout, which I know so many of our listeners have seen and experienced at some point in their career, I think it's important to frame for the audience about your business. So let's set the stage. Could you give me just the general Shark Tank pitch of your overall business?
Yeah, so I mean, we're a digital marketing agency that helps businesses really, I would say, of all size, but really, $40,000 a month in revenue or more, scale for like the just elevator pitch, and a lot of that is through their digital platforms, your Meta, TikToks, Google, every platform minus Snapchat, just because I'm 40 and I don't understand Snapchat. But yeah, just like, these guys that really want to try to grow and scale and have hit a sticking point and really shouldn't be spending their time working on their own ads themselves. We come in, help scale them up, and go from there.
That's beautiful stuff. I think that's very clear for the audience, and I think it would be good for us to start to talk about. Okay, you're focusing in on those companies that are about 40,000 or so a month. From the outside looking in, you guys are winning. What would you qualify as success and winning today, and what does that look like for your business?
For like our clients?
For your particular agency.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, for us, when it comes to, I guess, like our metrics that we look at for like winning we work for other companies and, want to grow them. I mean, for me, to keep it very simple, it's, green line go up and to the right, meaning profit. Mm-hmm. Like your top line is going up and to the right, but then also I wanted it to go up and to the right profitably.
Sure.
ROAS is cool. All these other metrics are cool, but like down and dirty, I care about scaling you while you're still making money, not just like, hey, you're growing because your brand terms are, but like you're just losing money. I want to grow and scale you that way.
I think that makes complete sense, and I would say that upward trend is obviously so important. I asked that question, I want to give you a little bit of context and the listeners some context, because I think often burnout doesn't appear in the form of the metrics, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
No. And so like let's play this out for a second. Most companies that I've seen most founders that I've seen dealing with burnout are really winning. Like they're in scale mode. And like, you can actually probably speak to this from a number of clients that you've seen. It's like the metrics are green, like things are growing, but at the same time, so is your inbox.
Yep.
So are your Slack messages. So are the general meetings that are the meeting slog that's showing up on your calendar.
Yep.
And so, like, looking from the outside in, all the metrics can show that you're winning, you're succeeding, etc. But you're struggling. And so I think it would be good for the listeners. So, like, you've built multiple companies, you've experienced, from what we chatted about in the preamble before this conversation, you've experienced burnout in a multitude of different occasions. I think for some of the early entrepreneurs, I know we were just talking about, like, there's a lot of new entrepreneurs entering the space, and they haven't experienced their first bout of burnout. Not to say we're hoping for anybody to go through that anytime soon, but sometimes you can't put words to it unless you've heard or can associate those feelings with someone else describing. So maybe you could talk us through what burnout has felt like and looked like for you, whether it's in this company or previous companies that you've worked in.
No, it's so many different versions. I've gone through lighter versions of burnout and then extreme versions. Like one just last year that I personally had never felt before. And it was, to your point, agencies, like my agency were growing, and my agency wasn't really a thing until 2021. It was a side hustle from 2018 until 21 while I was still doing my e-commerce stuff and all my e-com brands. I built up to, multiple seven figures and then would flip them. But even during the e-com days, I mean, it's a slog. Like, you're trying to run lean, wearing multiple hats. I mean, in my e-com days, like, burnout was just instant irritation and frustration with our customers, with like customer support. Like, why was I still doing customer support? Like, it was just, and I realized that I probably shouldn't have done it when I emailed profanities back to a customer.
Here's my question. Was that a repeat buyer? Did they buy your product again?
Oh, no, they didn't come back.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think so.
I pretty much told them, like, I don't want your money, F off, like, go away. And realized, oh my God, like, I mean, that initial burnout was like, I hated what I was doing. I hated the business, but it was just like, I didn't realize it was like, that was burnout, but I hated it. I just like didn't want to come in, and like I would come in and do the motions, but the business was growing. I mean, the e-com side, like, again, we went from, that one started in 2015. We did $160,000 from April to the end of the year. It was okay. 2016, we did $1.3 million. 2017, we did $2.2 million. Like, rapid freaking scale, and you're just running. I mean, it was like there was me and 3 employees at the time. My business partners, or my business partner at the time, lived in Las Vegas, so I mean, he was just kind of the face of the company.
Sure.
And so we were just running. I mean, they were 12-hour days, and you eventually just get to a point where, at least for me, I got to that point where I just was tired and like at my core tired. And then that turned into like almost a resentment towards the business, as weird as it sounds. But even then on the agency side, I mean, it's the same thing. Like to like go full circle where I started, like in 2021, I sold my last company. E-commerce was saturated. I'm like, all right, I really enjoy the agency side. We already have a few clients. Like, we're just going to go hard in on strategy and agency. And I love this.
Sure.
We went from $14,000 a month in MRR to $86,000 in or 83. We basically hit the $1 million mark in 12 months.
That's beautiful.
Just rapid scaling again. But along with that comes like long hours. I was doing too much. There were like me and 2 other employees. And that's when like the first kind of bout of burnout starts to happen inside of the agency. Was kind of that like mid 2022 range, or no, it was 2023, because I kind of took some sweet time off after I sold my business at the end of 21.
As you should, man. You got to celebrate that stuff.
Took like 6 months, didn't really do much. Then was like, all right, I guess I should actually like do something instead of just plugging money into this business to pay people, which is just how I roll. But so 2022 to 2023 is when we rapidly scaled, and then that first kind of end of Q3, Q4 was like that burnout stage where I stopped getting back to people as much. I didn't want to go to the office, didn't really recognize it again, but was just tired. Like, I mean, that's like the weirdest thing to say is like, you don't feel physically tired. You're just mentally drained. And I don't, for lack of better terms, like I just hated the business. I was like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Like, I love it, but like, why am I doing this? And
Sure.
that was kind of the first, go about of it. Last year's burnout was the most, I think even people around me that know me were like, oh my God, dude, are you okay? Like physically concerned, for where I was at. Like I had to get to a point where I stopped getting on calls with clients. I stopped taking sales calls. I had to completely disconnect for weeks to recover. It's not like I was like stuck in bed or anything. I just was ready to walk people out the door for nothing. I mean, I was like, I'm going to burn this thing to the ground. You want to talk about self-sabotage? I was in the center of it, man. And like my employees kind of stepped in, thankfully, and my wife stepped in. And they're like, you're not okay. Like you need time off. It's rolling over into personal life. I was just angry and I don't know.
Well, first of all, thank you for your candor, man. Like this is what people need to hear and understand that they're not alone. Because I feel like often when people are struggling or going through something, it can feel like you're the only person experiencing that because maybe you're not talking about it or sharing about it to other people, and maybe not people haven't lived that same journey. And so I know the listeners are getting benefit from hearing your story. And so you've gone through a couple bouts of it. And to your point, it's manifested in a number of different ways, whether it's frustration or whether it's just this general sense of exhaustion. Looking into the future, like I have two-part question. How do you see yourself putting controls in place to reduce that happening again? You know, it's like you're going to, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm gonna guess you're gonna keep scaling this thing. You're gonna try to sell it, and you're gonna keep rolling it over, right? Like that. That's the play. And so if that's the game, and you're gonna spin up another business or continue to scale this one, how do you put those controls in place to avoid burnout in the future?
Honestly, what I've done already, and this has already helped. Like, because I mean, this is gonna sound silly, but one, doing things for yourself. Like the business isn't everything, which trust me, I'm like if anybody knows me that's listening to this, they'll be like, oh, shut up. Like you live and die a business. I do. It's it's my fun. It's my, like, I love it. But for the first time, and I don't even know how long, I took Tuesday morning off and went and played golf. I still was in office by 12:30, but I went and played golf. Like it actually like helped. Like I felt lighter. I've had a little bit better week. You know, I was kind of ramping up again. I could feel myself getting more on edge, and it's like, okay, I can move these two calls around, so I'm gonna go do something for myself. Just kind of disconnect a little bit. Go play some golf where I'm not taking calls that the employees know. But at the same time, I have implemented. And this is something that we all go through where it's like, oh, I don't really feel like I'm in a place that I can hire. Get those people in place. Like I went out and brought in a COO from another agency and like brought her in to put in the systems and processes. So I didn't have to do it because that was another thing on my plate. Like we could have grown an additional $1 million last year.
Sure.
But my alter ego is named Brad, and Brad likes to self-sabotage us and cause burnout and do too much. So I'm like, okay, I need other people to just more delegation, more people, within reason, of course. Because like really, she frees up my time to focus on other aspects of the business. My employees free up my time to focus on growing the business and not being in the business as much. And even if it's part-time, and then I, brought in an assistant that helps organize my life as well. So it's like I have an assistant, and then my wife is amazing. She helps organize my personal life, and then my assistant organizes my business life. And like that's so far helped in the last just couple months. Really having those people in place to take all that extra work and stress off my plate, that I don't have a legal pad full of to-dos plus ClickUp plus my phone in emails, because all that stuff weighs on you, but also trying to focus on doing something for myself. Like, you still have to take care of yourself, and most of us during our early parts of businesses, we neglect our health, our food, our alcohol consumption. I mean, that's like, I'll tell you right now, if you find yourself drinking a lot more, you're pretty much in burnout. Like, you're masking the feeling. And I've gone through many bouts where we call him Party Mitch comes out, and this. I'm
starting to get a picture of the personalities that are playing. And
they're pretty wild. Brad and Party Mitch, and then Mitch. But it's kind of forget where I was going there. But taking care of yourself. That's what it was. It's like, just take the half hour, go to the gym, go outside, touch grass, lay on the floor, like whatever you got to do. Like, do some stuff for yourself so you can. It's really just, to me, burnout has a lot to do with just mental health. Like, you don't feel physically tired, but like mentally you're exhausted. You got to take care of that.
It's so interesting that you called that out. And while you were talking, a thought popped into my head. It's not fully formulated. Let's think through it together. It's this idea of, I almost call it like decision fatigue, and maybe that's not the right word.
No, that's so true though.
But it's like, if you think about the to-do list, whatever system you're using, Monday, ClickUp, whatever that is, then you have family responsibilities. There's a to-do list there, and there's a certain point, a certain threshold of like the actual amount of stuff that you can get done. And what I've observed from many entrepreneurs is this, like, there is a certain level of optimism in terms of the level of productivity and the things that said individual could do. And part of that optimism is why those people are entrepreneurs, because they just get shit done. But there's a certain point where it's like that list overcomes the capacity of what people are actually able to do. And I think it's so good to be able to recognize that. And one of the things I appreciate is what you effectively called out is, you've built systems in your life to help manage what I'm coining as decision fatigue. There's probably another word or characteristic for it. And I think one of the other things I would call out there for people that are listening, it would actually be great to get your POV on this as well, is a lot of people get caught up in this notion of like, I can't hire because things are too expensive. It's like, that is a very fixed mindset. There's always a solution. You can hire out of another foreign country to get some hands-on support. You can really challenge yourself on the prioritization list. We're living in an age of AI. You can get agents built for you to help do certain activities. So it's like, I know you talked a little bit about some of that system building aspect, but how did you navigate the build out of some of those systems within your life?
Early on, my wife and I, because she was basically a stay-at-home wife early on in our career, my entrepreneurial journey, but she worked with us, and so she got to kind of see behind the scenes, and as you she got a better understanding of like what goes on in business and the stressors and how many decisions I'm making. So we'd kind of come to, I don't know, I mean, we're talking like 15 years ago, I think, that this kind of happened on the personal life side, where it was like, hey, you manage the household. Like, I suck at paying bills. I know that's a weakness. I'd have horrible credit if it wasn't for my wife. And it's amazing because of her. But like, she manages the personal life, and then like I manage, I mean, it's not like everything in the personal life, but like she manages the household, and then like I manage my businesses, because like when I come home, like, bro, I can't make a decision about what I want for dinner. Like, it's my birthday on Monday. I still can't make a decision about what I want to do. And here we are Friday, I'm like, I don't know, like, somebody figure it out for me. But we just kind of like, that was like a conversation we had, where it wasn't like, hey, I don't want anything to do with it. It was just like, I suck at doing this stuff. Like, you're way better at it. Can you help? And then like we have a 7-year-old, and I want to be a part of his events that he does. He's picking like starting golf lessons and baseball and basketball, parkour. Like he's into all these activities, but like I had to let her know, like, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. I won't remember. There's so much going on all the time, so it has to be on my calendar. And then on the like with the work side of my stuff, my assistant, to your point with like going out of like outside of the U.S., she technically is in Argentina, but she helps like she does so much more than just inbox management and calendar management. But like that has helped so much. So I don't have like I think you interacted with her.
I did.
Yeah, Dana. So
yeah, she's awesome.
She's amazing, and I mean, she came in and immediately like organized my Google Drives and or reorganized a whole bunch of stuff that like made our life so much more simpler within the business. Has helped me not have to try to schedule things and book things and like do other reach outs, and so that's freed up time. But like also then bringing in the COO, like that was not a cheap expense. And but the way I looked at that is for me to implement all these systems and processes would take so much time, and my time, as everybody's time is worth a certain amount of money. But I think like if you go with like the Dan Martell method, it's like whatever your income is divided by I think like 2,000 or is it 4,400? I don't know. Basically the hours that you would work in a year, then that's your hourly like
Directionally.
Rate. Yeah. But I mean, really, it's like more than that because then there's opportunity cost. Like if I'm spending this amount of time trying to implement these processes, having her do it, we can, and she's got the experience as well. I can focus on the growth. I can focus on keeping clients happy and results, and the team, and it's just like I know I'm going to do a little bit of investment here up front, but in the long run, we're going to make tenfold what that cost is, because it frees up time for me to go focus on other things. And 100% there is decision fatigue, and that is a huge stressor on your brain, because all day long within your business, like I don't care if you work 4 hours a day, 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day, Gary V 20 hours a day, like you're making decisions, like micro decisions all day long that you don't even realize you're making. Then you were making big business decisions that are scary. Then, especially on the agency side, like I'm deciding where to spend Blake's money and how to spend Blake's money. And then there's like an added layer of stress and anxiety because I'm managing your money, and I'm not only feeding my employees' families, I'm now responsible for feeding Blake's family and Blake's employees. That's the way I look at it. So like there's like this even added pressure of that, and so I'm making those bigger decisions and then other decisions, and then by the end of the day you're like, I don't want to even decide what to watch on TV. Like let's just turn on Rick and Morty and just watch Rick and Morty again. Like
mine is The Office. I'm just like, listen, just turn on The Office. It's funny because when I was younger, and this is just such an aside, but I'll still share it. Like I used to love, I still love watching like deep drama, like different sort of shows. Like you got some Narcos out there, you got some Peaky Blinders, you got some Handmaids, but those are heavy shows.
Right.
And like when I get home, I'm just like, man, I just want to laugh a little bit and chill. Like it just
100%
disconnect a little bit. So Rick and Morty is a great choice. It's a great choice. I wanted to ask you, so we talked a little bit about like build a system to help sustain your life, invest, because that investment, whatever big or small, is going to give you time. You're buying time back that can open up and help kind of de-risk some of the burnout stuff that comes up. How do you go through prioritizing where you want to play and how much to support and focus on? Because I think there's so many directions a founder or a business leader could go. And so many different things to go execute against. And so especially if you're going through the scaling phase, like how do you recalibrate and set and say, this is where I'm going to focus on, this is where I'm going to place the COO, this is where I'm going to place the assistant, this is where I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to reduce that risk of burnout?
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know if this will be the right answer, but
there's no right answer. It's just your answer.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, a lot of it, bringing in these people, it was, I had analyzed multiple times on my whiteboard. I have like a huge 10-foot whiteboard behind this monitor here. And
I love that.
Oh, I love whiteboards. Like, oh, they're the best. I have whiteboards in every room and conference room and everything, and they're all have writing on them. But I initially put people in places that I knew were broken, that like kept breaking down. So like as we're rapidly like before we started talking, your tree analogy was amazing. Like the tree that just grows solo in the field, is eventually going to break because it just rapidly grows. It's a perfect analogy for business. If you're rapidly scaling, things will break. It's just the nature of the beast, and it's stressful, and we all hate it. But
can I just chime in for a second? I do want to give the analogy to the listeners so they have a little bit more context. So basically, Mitch and I were talking about rapid growth. He's working with all sorts of companies that are going through large amounts of scaling. And even over the last 10 or so years, there's been a crazy amount of growth and scaling across a number of different businesses. And the analogy that I shared was there's something I read somewhere. I don't know where the quote came from, but it basically said a tree that grows in a field on its own will grow at an exponential rate, will grow tall and wide very quickly. And a tree that grows in the forest will grow at a slower pace, but it'll grow over time. But it's fighting for light, it's fighting for nutrients, everything that it needs because there's other trees that it's competing with. But the trees that survive the growth in the forest last far longer than the trees that scale up really quickly in the field, because the trees that grow quickly in the field, the wood hasn't actually had the time to harden to sustain the infrastructure of said structure. And when a big storm comes around, those are the ones that most often break versus the ones that are living in the forest. So continue.
Yeah, no, and that's even while you were saying it again, it was like, oh my God, yeah, like it even dawned on me even more because you're rapidly growing, and then things will break, branches will fall off, part of your trunk will fall off, if we're just to stick with the tree analogy. It's just stuck in my head now. But so I put like my assistant in areas that I know I was broken in. And I say terms that people, like, they sound harsh because I'll use the word failure and people are like, oh, you didn't fail. I'm like, no, but like, it is. I learned from it though. So I had these broken areas that needed immediate attention, and so like my assistant immediately came in and like helped with my my inbox and organization and places that I'm not good at and recognize that I'm not good at. The COO was the same thing. It was like, here are what I know are broken due to literally whiteboarding out and printing out documents on my laptop next to it and being like, these are areas that we could improve upon that will, one, help the business and then also help me not hit these levels of burnout. And essentially, in my experiences, in my particular cases, was similar to self-sabotage. And so that's how I kind of prioritize that. Is like, I know that these are important to the business. They are, to a degree, revenue. On the COO side, they were essentially revenue generating as well, like client retention. Client retention is huge. And the same thing in the e-commerce space. Like, if you're in a commodity or a consumable, like, client retention is huge. The customer journey is huge. Yeah, LTV. And that's the same thing on the agency side. Like, LTV is huge. Well, you have to have client retention, which, honestly, in the agency space, yes, results are very important, but relationships matter a lot too. And that communication aspect, and we weren't doing enough, and then putting in systems, and kind of a really long way to say that. So then, like, that single tree, I'm planting other trees around us to help support that foundation that, like, I had already kind of put it in there, but we were just solo. And I didn't really have anything supporting, and everything that we did have that supported lived in my head. So I needed to get it out to somebody else and then be like, go build it. Like, it's yours. It's your baby. Please just do your best. Let me know how it goes here and there. And planting those trees to help build the foundation and keep it even stronger.
I love that call out. And the thought that came to mind while you were calling that out, and I think I remember the name of your friend. I think where Brad is dominant is where you had to plant the sub trees, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, where Brad kept messing with everything. It's like, but that's totally true. I mean, it was like where Brad, my alter ego, kept coming into play. It was like, that's where I needed to get people to support and help me stop doing that. But also I gave all of my employees and everybody 100% permission. I'm like, if you start to see me, because I don't realize I'm doing it, if you start to see me becoming Brad again, and like I'm doing Brad like things, there's a whole acronym to Brad, so it's nothing against people named Brad.
Yeah.
But I was like, call me out, tell me to stop. Like, please, and nobody's going to get in trouble unless you're like yelling at me for something. Like, I want to know because I don't realize I'm doing it. So kind of like giving the permission to, hey, you're here for a reason. And if I start to push you away from my tree or the tree, let me know. And I'll go, okay, cool, my bad. Like, and just step back.
What does Brad stand for?
Oh God, what was it? Being, the girls, my employees came up with it.
Being radical at doing. No, I just
No, it was like being really. I think the A was like something to do with like asshole or something. It was like, and then the D is dumb, you know. So I mean, it was basically calling out the actions I kept doing over and over again to lead to self-sabotage, to lead to burnout. And they're just like, we're watching you do it over and over again, so you're just being really dumb. And then like think they threw A in there for asshole or something, like being a really stupid asshole and dumb, and it's the ass fell out. But
So what question for you? Was that an outcome? Like, did the team curate that idea as an outcome of your most recent burnout?
oh,
Or
for
did
sure.
it exist before? Okay, so it was like burnout happened. Team said, like, we need to fix this.
Yep.
Here's an acronym. This is what we need to continue to watch out for, or what you need to watch out for. Which is like, it's a pretty cool hack for the listeners. I mean, first of all, kudos to you for creating an environment and culture with your team where like they're open to giving feedback. And because like that is where the gold is with any within any organization. It's like no one's perfect, and we only improve by understanding our failures. But what's really cool about what you just called out with the Brad thing is, one, you now have a frame to be like, am I acting like Brad? And you have a description of what that is to address it and to recalibrate, and then it's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's packaging it up, and then you decide how you want to act. So that's one. And then the other cool thing about it is I think it helps. How do I say this? There's an interesting relationship between founders, CEOs, execs at companies, and team members or employees. And often it's hard for those individuals to actually be able to like speak their mind. Even if there's a safe, quote unquote, safe environment, said individuals still always potentially walk on eggshells because it's like, this is the hand that's feeding them, right? It's like, don't bite the hand that's feeding you. And so what that frame does is it enables people to like put that fear aside and just is like, if you want to give feedback, just give feedback to Brad, not Mitch, not the hand that's feeding you, and Brad will work on trying to make things better. You know?
Oh, 100%. And just being open to it, like you said. I mean, I've been doing this so long and I'm getting to that age that I'm so self-aware. And self-awareness is, I think, a big thing that everybody should have in life and business. Well, especially on the business side, when it comes to like being able to know your faults, but it's not bad. Like they're not bad at what you fail at. And then, you know, like with my employees, unless they are like screaming "F you" at me, like, hey, I'll take any feedback, because really it's a team effort. It's not me. It's all of us together. And if I'm doing something that is hurting the bigger goal and the long-term mission, I have to know, just like I would tell them. I need to know. I need somebody and everybody to put me in check, because Brad pops up in random areas all the time. And you just have to have that. I really like that culture. Back in my early days, I didn't really have that, but like over time I figured out like, oh no, like I did that wrong. I'm going to do a little bit differently. But I mean, yeah, like the last burnout was literally last fourth quarter, and that was the one where, it was deep. And I hired my COO in January. And I mean, it was like just it had to be done, and yeah, it was going to hurt for a few months, but like at the same time, we were going to be fine. And it's been such a better year, a lot less churn, a lot more happy customers. I'm in a better place to where even my employees are saying like, man, like you just seem happy. I'm like, yeah, I don't have as much. I don't feel like I have as much on my shoulders, you know, weighing me down, and I can do other areas of the business that I enjoy. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but yeah.
No, man. Like, I think everyone has their zone of genius, and there's certain things people just don't like to do, and like that's not a bad thing. It's just play to your strengths and farm out what you can when you can. I'm interested. So January you hired her. How'd you decide to make that leap of faith? Because, like, to your point, it's biggest investment that you've made outside of yourself in the business. So how'd you decide to do that?
It was, again, kind of, I'm really big on analyzing and figuring out why something happened. So on top of the burnout, which was probably what caused what I like to call mini purges of clients, we'd had, and I'd already kind of been in talks with her for like a consulting side of things, still being stubborn that like, oh, I can do it. And it never happened. So it was the same repetitive actions and consequences happening over and over again. Of about every 3 months, I would go through this like mini. I won't use the term the girls, my employees use, but like I would basically, screw it. I'd have my man period and would get very PMSy, and they started keeping a calendar of my mood swings, and it was
I
okay.
love your team. I love your team. By this
you would love them. They're the best. But that's like also the environment I've made. Where like they're keeping a calendar of my mood swings, and so being able to look at that, being able to look at how it's affecting the business, and then just getting to that point of that burnout where I was like, oh my God, like I know what needs to be done. I can't do it. Like, I just can't do it. It's not my forte. It's not my zone of genius. And I honestly had got on it. It was so funny, dude. Like, I got on a call with her again to just like kind of hit up like the consulting side and like help me kind of navigate this, inputting these systems and processes. And I'd had the thought in the morning. It was one of those shower thoughts. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try to hire her. I was like, screw it. I'm going to shoot my shot, see what happens. Because if I don't get help, I'm going to burn this thing to the ground and we'll never get any further. Or I'm just going to ruin it and then start from zero somewhere else. And that's not any fun. And so, yeah, just got on the call with her. And within 10 minutes, it was like, look, like I know we were going to talk about, potentially just the consulting stuff, but like, would you be open to come working for me? Like, yeah. And a week later, pretty much here she was. But it was, I knew I needed to do it to like, I guess, fully answer the question. It was just like the same thing happened for 12 months. And then I hit that deep level of burnout and was like, I don't know. I don't want to go through that again. Like that was the worst when you have people actually acknowledging it and like really worried about you. To where I was like unhinged. Not that I'm like doing anything bad in life or anything. I don't want to make it sound like that, but like just
eyes are big. And you're like, I'm good, man. Just like
yeah. I'm fine. I'm fine. But just like I just like I have to do it. I'm going to invest, and it's going to pay off. And like as entrepreneurs, we all have that grit. Like it's scary, but I also try to look at that like fear as like a level of excitement. Like, okay, yeah, I may be like nervous and like, is this the right move? But I think as entrepreneurs, when our backs are against the wall, almost when we do kind of our best work as well, like I have to do this now. Like it has to get done, and then you get it done, and you like get to that next level. So I don't know.
No, I that positioning of, first of all, doing the analysis, understanding where the biggest pain point is, and just monitoring your behavior over time. I think data talks, and getting out of the loop is such an important thing. One thing you called out the shower thought piece, and I have to say this: I don't think enough people invest in quiet time. Like And quiet time could manifest itself in a multitude of different ways. You go golfing. That's like time to recharge, but also time to think and to see what's going on in the mind and come up with different solutions. Maybe it's in the shower. I do a lot of running. That's my place. And so I think the headspace is an important piece to make some of those critical decisions. And I'm so glad that you found this person to come in and support. I do want to ask if you could go back, say 5 years, let's like frame it, and go give yourself some advice to your younger self, Mitch. What would that advice be?
Kind of two pronged. I mean, knowing what I know 5 years later, like one, do less, and invest in people faster, like 100%. Just helps with everything. There's less on your plate. There's less I mean, there's still accountability, but it's like it's not on me to do it. So then when it doesn't get done or we fail or I hit burnout, I'm not going to, like, it's not my fault. I don't know if I'm like wording that right. I'm just trying to kind of explain it to where it's like you can get it off your shoulders because then it's not attached to your personal value. Like that was one thing that I had I still struggle with it, so I don't want to act like, it doesn't affect me now. But like business's success and failures aren't a direct reflection upon me. So I can, if I could have started working on this 5 years ago, I'd be in probably even a different place than right now. Just being able to do less, invest in more people, which then allows me to detach my personal value from my business.
It's funny you call that out, and I have a follow-up question on that. Two part. And one, I guess, is more of a comment. It's the comment is, if you actually want to sell your business, you need to be able to be detachable. Like, if you're not detachable and the business is built around you, like, you're effectively a scaled freelancer, and it's hard to sell, especially like agency side, because it's like everyone is relying on said person to potentially be the rainmaker for anybody that will come by. And so like that's the commentary side of things. I think from a question side of things, as you're talking about that detachment, what I'm guessing, and I don't, the listener might not be thinking this, but this is a thought that popped into mind, is what I find with a lot of entrepreneurs is that need to be in it and not detach themselves is actually what gives them, like, them being the business and their ego being attached to it, gives them the horsepower to maybe even push through the hardest times where that business might not have succeeded. And so what would and once again, we're talking to your younger self. If you're going through that hard time, your ego is attached, and you're going back and you're saying, man, don't attach so much to this thing. Do less. Like, how would you coach your younger self that would probably be like, come on, man, fuck off. This is how I make the business grow. This is how I get it to the point of success.
I think the biggest thing would be convincing myself to get rid of the mindset that you're the only one that can do it. Nobody can do it as good as me. Because that's the ego. Like, nobody can do it as good as me. Okay, but 80%, which is where I'm at now, 80% of my 100% is 100%. Like, it just is, and it might sound like it's good enough. No. I have 20 years of experience doing all this stuff, so I nobody that I hire, unless they have that amount of experience, is probably as good. But at the same time, go hire people who are smarter than you. Like, get those people that are experts in those things. So, but really, just to detach the ego from it. I mean, the ego part, like, to your point, definitely plays a role at the beginning, 100%. And like, it is a huge driver. And like, I'm going to prove all these people wrong, and I can do it. And the hustle culture. I still wholeheartly, like, I love hustle culture and believe in hustle culture, even though it's like not the cool thing anymore. But after a certain bit of time, in a certain level of business, you can't do it all. Like you can't be customer service, you can't be shipping, you can't be doing deliverables, you can't be taking all the sales calls, putting on the systems and processes. Like it's too much. Take your ego out of it and let other people do it. And 80% of what you want is 100%. It's just good.
It's almost like be the engine from 0 to 1, but from 1 to 10, put other engines in place. And it's so funny. I want to show you something. You can't see it right behind my chair. I'm going to slide over for a second. We got the same sign.
We do. Nobody cares work harder. That's great.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. I know we're getting ready to wrap up. I want to ask. I always like to end things on a positive note. What are you most hopeful for looking into the future? Whether it's for your business, whether it's for your 7-year-old son at home, the world. Like what are you excited for?
There's kind of a lot of things. I mean, it's on the 7-year-old side, for like the kids side, I'm excited to see where the world goes technologically, and that'll kind of like roll into like the AI side of things. Like, I think it's going to be pretty exciting and pretty wild all at the same time, like with how much AI just compounds and how fast it goes. So it's going to be like the future, I think, in the next 20 years. I mean, before I die, hopefully, the world's going to look entirely different. Like it's just, and it's super exciting. And I'll tell you, and it just popped into my head because some of the masterminds I'm involved with. And I mean, this was even a year ago before AI was as good as it is now, which is weird to say in a year.
Crazy.
Oh, it's nuts. But I'm excited as well for anybody that's starting now. Like, yeah, this is hard. Like entrepreneurship is very hard, but the tools at everybody's resource now and your fingertips. I remember having a conversation with this 21-year-old kid a year ago, and he was like deep into AI and was already pretty successful. And I just looked at him while we were, sitting around at like one of the networking things, and I was like, bro, like I'm excited for you. Not like me at 40 is a whole different game. Like I'm kind of old. Like it's hard to change our ways, but like, man, the resources you have now and like AI, and you don't have to necessarily go out and like hire a ton of people. Give that to me at 21. Like if I had that, like, dude, so I was so excited for him. And like all these young kids starting up now, I'm like, y'all don't even realize what you're sitting on. Like you're going to be able to build huge businesses super fast, and your future is going to look so much different because of the resources that you have. So like, I'm also really excited, I guess, in a long way of saying it, for like everybody that's coming up and starting, because God, it's going to be a ride for them, and it just looks so much fun and so exciting.
I love it, man. I think you hit the nail on the head. The amount of opportunity that's coming on in the near future is spectacular, and I'm looking forward to seeing how everyone capitalizes on it. Mitch, it's been such a pleasure chewing the fat with you on this one. Everything that you've shared around burnout, I think, is going to be extremely impactful. And just super pumped for you, man, that you got some systems in place to support the tree as it continues to scale up. And I'm just looking forward to more opportunities to have you on the pod in the future.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. This was fun. I hope people take some stuff away from it. And, it's hard, but like, just also take care of yourself. Like 20 years into this, I just want people to like, yeah, you're going to hustle and you're going to work, but at the same time, like, man, take care of yourself. Take care of, if I could go back 15 years, it'd be totally different. 5 years, I'd be in a different place. But yeah, just like listen to it and don't, just kind of, hopefully you got a nugget from something I said and something everybody else says on this podcast, because this is amazing. We could all talk about the good times, but like nobody talks about the bad. And I love that you're doing that, because like I see that all the time, and I'm just like, man, if people could truly see behind the fourth wall.
Yep.
It's a whole different story, because I see it from clients. I see it from acquaintances. Like, we all go through periods of just massive burnout and misery and thinking we're a piece of crap because the business isn't doing good, or we're not where we wanted to be. Like, I didn't hit my goals for 35. I haven't even hit it at 40. Let's try by 45. But yeah, just try to stay mentally healthy.
I appreciate that, man. Very, very well said. We'll leave it at that. Thank you, everybody, for joining the Scaling Paradox. We'll see you on the next one. That's it for this episode of the Scaling Paradox. If this helped cut through the chaos, please send it to another founder or operator that's stuck in it too. If you haven't subscribed yet, let's fix that. New episodes of the Scaling Paradox drop every other Thursday. There's no filler in this podcast, just the real work of scaling past yourself.